The secret to sharp memory at 80 without pills. Margaret Sullivan had just turned 80, and as she placed her teacup back on its saucer, she leaned back in her chair, eyes twinkling. People keep asking me how I remember so much, she said, smiling at her granddaughter Emma. They think I have some magical pill or secret formula. Emma shook her head, amazed. Margaret could recall the names of her childhood neighbors, the precise date of her wedding, and every grandchild's birthday without missing a beat. She was sharper than people half her age. So, what is your secret, Grandma? Emma asked, pulling out her notebook. I want to write it down. Margaret chuckled. It's not a secret, darling. It's a habit. 1. Mental workouts, the daily crossword. Every morning, Margaret started her day with a crossword puzzle. It's my mental warm-up, she said. It keeps my mind engaged and forces me to recall words, phrases, and ideas. It's like lifting weights for the brain. Studies have shown that engaging in mentally stimulating activities like puzzles, chess, or reading can help maintain cognitive function well into old age. For Margaret, the crossword was more than a hobby. It was her daily exercise. 2. A life of learning. Margaret was a lifelong learner. She had taken a painting class at 65, started learning French at 70, and recently joined a book club. The brain is like a muscle, she explained. The more you use it, the stronger it stays. Emma nodded, jotting it down. Keep learning, she said aloud. Exactly, Margaret said. When you learn something new, you create new neural pathways. It's like building a road through a forest. The more roads, the easier it is to remember things. 3. Physical activity, a daily walk. Every afternoon, Margaret went for a walk around the neighborhood. Exercise isn't just for the body, she said. It's for the mind too. Research has shown that physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, promoting the growth of new brain cells. Margaret's walks were her way of staying both physically and mentally fit. Noshta 4. Social connections. The power of conversation. Margaret made it a point to call a friend or relative every evening. Talking to people keeps you sharp, she said. It forces you to remember names, stories, and details. Plus, it keeps you connected. Loneliness is terrible for the brain. Emma scribbled that down too. Stay social, she said. Exactly, Margaret said. When you share stories, you practice recall. It's as simple as that. 5. Healthy diet, food for thought. Margaret's diet was rich in leafy greens, berries, nuts, and fish. What you eat affects how you think, she said. Blueberries are my go-to snack. They're packed with antioxidants that keep the brain young. Emma nodded, closing her notebook. So, Grandma, you're saying the secret to a sharp memory is a combination of mental exercise, learning, physical activity, socializing, and eating well? Margaret smiled. That's it. No pills, no magic. Just daily habits. And the best part? Anyone can do it, starting today. Emma hugged her grandmother, feeling both enlightened and inspired. Margaret may not have had a secret, but she certainly had a lesson worth remembering. Would you like me to adjust the tone or structure? Here's the continuation of the story. The secret to sharp memory at 80 without pills. Continued. As Emma sat back, absorbing her grandmother's words, she noticed a scrapbook resting on the coffee table. Its cover was worn, corners frayed, and pages filled with photographs, newspaper clippings, and handwritten notes. What's this? Emma asked, reaching for it. Margaret's face lit up. Ah, that's my memory book. Started it when I was 50. Every time something special happens or I learn something new, I jot it down or paste it in there. It's like a physical extension of my mind. Emma opened the book and flipped through the pages. There were photos of family vacations, birthday parties, and even Margaret's first art exhibit at the community center. Each page was meticulously labeled with dates, names, and anecdotes. I see a lot of faces here. You remember everyone? Emma asked. Margaret nodded. Absolutely. That's another part of keeping your mind sharp, reminiscing. When you look at old photos and tell stories, you're not just remembering, you're reinforcing those memories. It's like taking a path through the woods. The more you walk it, the clearer it gets. Emma stopped at a page filled with colorful doodles and French phrases. Is this from your French class? Margaret chuckled. Oui, mademoiselle. Learning a new language was one of the best decisions I ever made. At first, it was just to keep my mind busy, but then I realized it opened up a whole new world of connections. I made friends with a group of other seniors who were learning French, and now we have a weekly cafe meetup where we only speak in French. Keeps the brain firing on all cylinders. Emma could see the joy in her grandmother's eyes as she spoke about her group. So, it's not just about keeping busy. It's about staying connected too, she said. Exactly, Margaret said. People think that as you age, your world gets smaller, but it doesn't have to. The more you engage with the world, the more your brain stays active. Isolation is the enemy of a sharp mind. That's why I keep this book. It reminds me that I'm still living, still learning, still growing. Emma flipped to the back of the scrapbook. There she found a page filled with Margaret's favorite quotes, each one written in her elegant looping script. Every day I read through these, Margaret said, running her fingers over the ink. Words are powerful. They anchor me, remind me of the things that matter, and keep me focused. When you train your brain to remember beautiful words, you train it to hold on to beautiful moments too. Emma closed the book, feeling a swell of admiration. You've created a life filled with purpose and meaning, Grandma. And you did it without any fancy tricks or expensive pills. Margaret leaned forward, eyes sparkling. That's right. The secret to a sharp memory isn't something you buy. It's something you build day by day. And the best part? You can start building it at any age. Emma smiled, feeling as if she'd just uncovered a priceless treasure. Would you like it to continue further, or does this complete the narrative for you? Here's the continuation. Later that evening, after Emma had gone home, Margaret sat alone with a cup of chamomile tea. The house was quiet, the sun setting in hues of amber and rose. She opened her scrapbook again, flipping to a blank page. With a steady hand, she picked up her pen and began to write. Today, Emma asked me about my memory. It's funny. People think aging is about forgetting, but I believe it's about remembering what truly matters. She paused, tapping the pen against her chin. Memories aren't just things we keep in our heads. They're stories we hold in our hearts. And every time we share them, we keep them alive. Margaret closed the book and leaned back, gazing at the fading light. She thought of her morning crosswords, her French meetups, her evening walks. Each activity was more than a habit. It was a thread, weaving together the tapestry of her life. A life filled with memories that stayed sharp, not because of some miracle cure, but because she chose every day to keep creating new ones. Would you like me to keep going? Or does this wrap up the story for you?